Comfort is sneaky. It looks like your soft couch, your favorite show, your food delivery app, your stable routine. It tells you you've done enough, you deserve this. Stay right here. And without noticing, you start confusing feeling okay with actually being awake, alive, and aware. In this video, we're going to explore a confronting idea. Comfort can be the enemy of awareness, not because rest is bad, but because unconscious comfort quietly numbs your perception. It lowers the volume on your inner signals, your dissatisfaction, your curiosity, your untapped potential, until you can't hear them anymore. If you've ever looked at your life and thought, nothing is wrong, but something is definitely missing, this is for you. By the end, you'll see comfort in a completely new way, and you may realize that the very things making your life pleasant are also putting your awareness to sleep. Let's set the stage. Comfort itself isn't the villain. Warm showers, safe homes, financial stability, even Netflix nights, these are good things. The danger begins when comfort stops being a tool and becomes your default state, your unquestioned goal. That's when awareness starts to fade. In this video, we'll unpack how comfort reshapes your brain, your habits, and your sense of self. We'll look at what happens to your attention when life gets too easy, why discomfort is a better teacher than we like to admit, and how modern life is engineered to keep you pleasantly numb. If you care about living consciously rather than drifting, stay with me till the end, because I'll share some practical strategies to reclaim your awareness without becoming a miserable ascetic. And if this is the kind of honest, challenging content you want more of, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives like this. To understand why comfort is dangerous, we first need to understand awareness. Awareness isn't just noticing what's happening around you, it's noticing what's happening within you, your thoughts, emotions, impulses, and blind spots while they're happening. Think of awareness like your inner dashboard. It tells you when you're drifting, when you're lying to yourself, when your values and your actions no longer match. It's that subtle tension you feel when you laugh with friends but know you're deeply unfulfilled at work, or when you scroll for hours and quietly hate it. Now here's the problem. Awareness is uncomfortable. It points out inconsistencies, demands honesty, and often asks for change. Comfort, on the other hand, soothes. It says, don't worry about that right now. Here, have some dopamine. When you choose comfort over and over, you start training yourself to avoid the very signals that could wake you up, and that's how comfort becomes an enemy of awareness. Comfort and your brain have a very tight relationship. Your brain's primary job is survival, not fulfillment. It wants to conserve energy, avoid pain, and seek predictable rewards. Comfort provides exactly that. Low risk, low effort, and frequent small hits of pleasure. Each time you choose the comfortable option, one more episode, one more scroll, skipping the difficult conversation, you reinforce neural pathways that say, this is safe, this is good, do it again. Over time, your brain starts preferring familiar ease over meaningful challenge. Here's where awareness gets compromised. When your brain expects comfort, anything that threatens it, reflection, honest self-inquiry, trying something new, triggers resistance. You'll feel sudden tiredness, boredom, or rationalizations. I'll think about that later. I'm just too busy. Gradually, the part of you that asks hard questions gets quieter, and the part that chases instant relief gets stronger. Your awareness doesn't vanish overnight. It's slowly smothered under layers of convenience and distraction. We live in the most comfortable era in human history. You can tap a screen and have food delivered, entertainment streamed, and social interaction simulated, all without leaving your bed. On paper, this sounds like paradise. In reality, it can be a trap. Modern life is built around what I'd call a comfort economy. Companies profit by capturing your attention and eliminating friction. No waiting, no boredom, no effort. But awareness often grows in the gaps, in boredom, in waiting, in those unfilled moments when your mind wanders and notices something's off. When every quiet moment is instantly filled with noise, you lose those micro opportunities for self-awareness. The second you feel a hint of discomfort, anxious thought, loneliness, uncertainty, there's an app ready to numb it. So comfort stops being support and becomes sedation. The tragedy is you might function perfectly well on the surface while being deeply disconnected from who you are and what you actually want. Awareness often arrives disguised as discomfort. It's the knot in your stomach before you go to work, the heaviness you feel on Sunday night, the dull ache after another day spent avoiding what matters. These sensations are not your enemy, they're messages. But we've been trained to treat discomfort like a glitch to be fixed immediately. Feel anxious? Scroll. Feel lonely? Text everyone. Feel insecure? Buy something. Each time we numb, the message gets postponed and the cost grows. Here's the paradox. The more you shield yourself from discomfort, the less you learn from your own life. Pain, confusion, and restlessness are often the first signs that your current path doesn't fit you anymore. If you never let yourself truly feel them, you'll keep repeating the same patterns while telling yourself, I'm fine. Comfort doesn't just mask your pain, it masks your direction. Without discomfort, you lose one of the most reliable compasses of awareness you have. Let's talk about the comfort zone. People usually describe it as a place where nothing scary happens. But here's a more accurate definition. Your comfort zone is where nothing new about yourself is revealed. Growth requires feedback, and feedback is often uncomfortable. You only discover your courage when you're scared and move anyway. You only realize how impatient, insecure, or avoidant you are when a situation stretches you beyond your usual limits. Inside the comfort zone, your identity becomes a loop. Same thoughts, same reactions, same stories. You feel like you know yourself, but really, you just know your patterns. The enemy of awareness isn't comfort once in a while. It's permanent comfort, never risking embarrassment, failure, rejection, or uncertainty. That safety comes at a cost. You stop updating your self-knowledge. When you avoid edges, you avoid mirrors. And without mirrors, you stay a stranger to the deeper parts of who you are and who you could become. Comfort doesn't just keep you still, it also distorts how you see. When you're too comfortable, you start filtering reality to protect that comfort. You downplay problems, rationalize bad habits, and avoid information that would force you to change. Think about how easy it is to say, work is fine, when it's actually draining you, because admitting the truth would mean facing uncertainty. Or how you tell yourself, I'll start next week, because starting now would disrupt your comfortable routine. This is called motivated blindness. You literally don't want to see clearly, because seeing clearly would make comfort impossible. Awareness threatens your current equilibrium, so your mind edits reality to keep you undisturbed. Over time, that self-editing becomes automatic. You stop questioning your stories. You start believing, this is just who I am, instead of, this is who I've trained myself to be by always choosing what feels easiest right now. It's important to say this clearly. Rest is not the enemy. Recovery, safety, and moments of ease are essential for mental and physical health. The problem is not having comfort, it's being ruled by it. Awareness thrives when you use comfort strategically. For example, intentionally resting after deep work, rather than living in constant low-effort mode, or choosing a peaceful evening to reflect and journal, not just to numb out. Think of it like this. Comfort should be a charging station, not your permanent address. You go there to refuel so you can come back to life with clarity and energy. When you live at the charging station, you never actually travel anywhere. So the goal isn't to make your life as hard as possible, it's to make comfort conscious. Something you choose with awareness, instead of something that quietly chooses your entire lifestyle for you without your permission. Let's make this practical. How do you know when comfort has turned into an enemy of your awareness? Here are some subtle warning signs. First, emotional flatness. Your life feels fine but strangely numb, like everything is on low volume. Second, chronic distraction. The moment you're alone with your thoughts, you instinctively reach for a screen, Third, vague dissatisfaction that never gets investigated. You feel off, but you never sit down to actually ask why. Fourth, time blindness. Days and weeks blur together because you rarely do anything that stretches or challenges you. Finally, defensive reactions when someone or something threatens your routine. You feel irrationally annoyed at small disruptions. If several of these resonate, it's not a reason to panic or judge yourself. It's simply a sign that comfort has been driving for a while, and awareness is knocking, asking for the keys back. To reclaim awareness, you don't need to blow up your life. You start by introducing intentional discomfort, small controlled stretches that wake you up without overwhelming you. This might look like taking a cold shower for 30 seconds to observe your reactions instead of avoid them. Sitting for 5 minutes in silence each day with no phone, just noticing your thoughts. Having one honest conversation you've been postponing. Walking without headphones and paying attention to your environment and body sensations. The goal is not to prove how tough you are. The goal is to retrain your nervous system to see discomfort as information, not as an emergency. Each time you lean in with curiosity, what is this feeling telling me? You strengthen awareness. Over time, you'll notice something surprising. The more discomfort you're willing to face consciously, the less power it has over you unconsciously. A powerful way to counteract comfort's numbing effect is to deliberately build friction back into your life. Not pointless difficulty, but conscious obstacles that force you to wake up and choose. For example, delete the most addictive apps from your home screen so using them requires extra taps. Put your phone in another room when you sleep. Make it slightly harder to order takeout than to cook something simple at home. Schedule blocks of time where you're unreachable. You can also add friction in your thinking. Before saying yes to an easy option, pause and ask, what am I avoiding right now? That tiny question interrupts autopilot and reintroduces awareness. Friction is like resistance training for your attention. By making mindless comfort a bit less convenient, you create just enough space for the more awake part of you to step in and make a different choice. There's also a deeper layer, existential comfort. This is the comfort of fixed identities and unquestioned beliefs. I'm just not a disciplined person. This is what people like me do. It's too late to change. These stories feel safe because they explain your life without demanding transformation. Awareness, however, keeps asking, is that really true? Challenging these core assumptions is uncomfortable because it threatens who you think you are. But it's also where the most profound growth happens. Try writing down your most repeated self-descriptions and gently questioning them. When did I decide this? Who benefits if I keep believing it? What evidence do I have for the opposite? The more willing you are to stand in the discomfort of, I don't fully know myself yet, the more alive your awareness becomes. You move from a fixed, comfortable identity to a dynamic, curious relationship with yourself and your life. Let's distill everything we've explored. First, comfort is not evil, but unconscious. Constant comfort quietly numbs your awareness. It trains your brain to prefer familiarity over truth. Second, awareness lives in the very places comfort avoids: discomfort, uncertainty, boredom, honest self-reflection. Third, modern life is designed to remove friction, which accidentally removes many of the natural triggers for awareness. Fourth, your feelings of restlessness, mild anxiety, or dissatisfaction are not glitches. They're signals. Numbing them with endless ease only postpones the message. Fifth, you can reclaim awareness by introducing small, intentional discomforts and friction into your habits, using comfort as a recovery tool instead of a hiding place. Finally, your deepest comfort might be your identity stories. Questioning them is uncomfortable, but incredibly liberating. If you remember nothing else, remember this: comfort is safest when you choose it consciously. The moment it becomes automatic, it starts quietly choosing the quality of your life for you. Now it's your turn to experiment. Today, pick one area where comfort has been running the show. Maybe your phone use, your evenings, or a conversation you've been avoiding. Introduce a tiny, deliberate discomfort there. Sit with the urge to escape it and instead ask, what is this trying to show me? That question alone can begin to wake up your awareness. If this video resonated with you, don't just let it become another comfortable dose of inspiration. Turn it into a small, concrete change in your daily routine. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Where has comfort been numbing your awareness the most? And what's one uncomfortable action you're willing to take this week? If you want more thoughtful content about living consciously in a world built for distraction, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs a gentle wake-up call. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.